All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere because coming up is Hall of Fame real estate broker, published author, trainer, and motivational speaker, and one heck of a former football coach. Going to tell you about his new book next. Glenn Bill on Cliff's Notes. Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it. Guarantee it? Guarantee it? Guarantee it, don't we, C3?
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed, certainteed, absolutely. We got a stellar show about to unfold right here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we got one of the top guys that I've ever met. I mean, just world-class, all-around great guy. Smart, knows it, and can teach it. And that's what's really, really key. Trelvis, you met this man before. He's been on the show. It's been about, how long has it been since we've had Glenn on the show?
Almost a year and a half.
Been almost a year. Let's bring him on. There he is, the man himself, the man of the hour, the legacy, the myth, the legend, the power. Right there, Glenn Bill. How you doing, sir? And are you in Indiana today, or what part of the world are you roosting in?
Hey, Cliffs, how you guys doing? Such an honor to be with you. Love what you do for our real estate community. I'm here in Indianapolis, Indiana, at my home, not in my home office, out of something called Broad Ripple, Indiana. And that you may have heard of Broad Ripple because of the wonderful David Letterman. That's where he went to high school, right down the street from my office.
Is that right? Does he still have that? Does he still look like Billy Gibbons with that big beard?
Yes, he is. He said he hated to shave every day for all those years, and he said, I'm not shaving anymore. So he doesn't shave. And yeah, he owns an IndyCar race team, which is pretty interesting. And he comes out to the Speedway all the time. And yeah, he looks like a hermit. It's pretty crazy. But I don't think he cares.
I don't think he cares anymore either. Yeah, he's probably got enough Abraham Lincoln's tucked back in his bank account to keep him flush for a little while. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Glenn, how you been, man? Last time we ran into you was here in Dallas at Tony Robbins at the Build Conference, and it was just wonderful. Really excited to see you again, and you have your own network and speaking circuit that you're on. Where else have you been this year? Have you been any places you want to share with us? Anything exciting? You've been like with these investor conferences and things. I know you and Chris Bear met at one of those.
Yeah, well, we actually met at a speaking thing, but I speak to a lot of Fortune 500 companies. I speak to a lot of mortgage companies. I have a program called Purchase Mentality: How to Get Inside the Heart and Mind of a Real Estate Agent. So banks and mortgage companies really like me, and I've been speaking for many. We've had a good year. It's been a little bit pared back. I've been doing a lot of virtual training. Certainly have done some real estate events. You and I did an event, obviously January in Orlando, which was a blast. We're gearing back up. I'd love to get on, even more stages, but we take how it comes. And I've been selling. I mean, my God, my commercial brokerage has really blown up this year. We've developed 143 acres, industrial development, 1% vacancy rate in Hamilton County. So, anybody that's out there in the commercial sector, I'm sure they know that industrial warehouse, I mean, that stuff, it's hotter than residential. But I'm a residential agent, and you know what? I don't care if it's got dirt in a building. I'm selling it.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I didn't realize that you had some development activities going on up there as well, man. You got so many things going on. How the world do you manage all of this? What's that work balance life like?
I one of the reasons I joined EXP, I've been doing this 33 years. And I've always tried to create a life. Bob Proctor was a early influence in me, and he introduced me to this thing called MSI, multiple sources of income. And for the past 33 years, I've been really trying to hone in on having the ability to create income with every handshake I make. And a lot of people say, be specific to be terrific, and the riches is in the niches. But I tend to be a nonconformist. And if I only focused on one thing, I would lose interest. I'm a severe ADD guy. And, that's just not how I roll. So, to learn the commercial industry. And I was, before I came to EXP, one of the top commercial brokers at our old company. I was the top residential broker and commercial broker, both sides. They're going, how the hell do you do that? And then I ran my source of sales training for the company. And then I wrote an international best-selling book, and I go around the country and talk to Fortune 500 companies and teams about attitude. And this source of sales program is actually coming out in a book, and it's really what I've termed an attitude-based selling course, because we all know that the most important asset that we all possess, we know that the common denominator in great teams, great companies, great people, great relationships is this thing called attitude. And so I've merged this whole idea of attitude-based sales training in our new SOS 2.0 is what we call it. And my goal was this: no matter who I talk to, I have an opportunity to book a speech. I have an opportunity to train a group of realtors, train a group of mortgage people. I have an opportunity to sell a big commercial building. I have an opportunity to recruit agents. I have an opportunity to build my rev share. I have an opportunity to sell a home. I don't want to be all about the money, but if I'm meeting people and loving on people, you know what? Why not make a few bucks while we do it? So that's how I've created the life that I've created. And it's becoming very profitable for me. I almost have as much money. No, I have about half as much money as you got, but I'm working on it.
Well, so, Glenn, I think you would agree with me that, your bank account is really a scorecard of how well you're helping other people. So, it's not just about that. We talk about money, and because it is the score, right? But the reality is if you look at what we do, we serve people. Yes. And we serve people at a very high level, and people who do that get paid very well. Look at doctors, lawyers, accountants. We're professionals just like they are. How in the world do you get inside the head of a real estate agent? You train mortgage people and things like that. What in the world does the inside of the head of a real estate agent look like?
Well, when we talk to our mortgage partners, and when I am engaged by, and I've been fortunate that I've been engaged by Fairway Mortgage. I was their keynote speaker 4 or 5 years in a row when they were on their way up. Love Fairway. Been a Wells Fargo center stage speaker, Chase Mortgage, the big boys. I've done stuff with them. And I break real estate agents down, into 4 levels. You got your newbies, that's 12 deals or less. You got your tier 2s, which is 24 to 30 deals. Then you got the guys that, are making a pretty good living. They're doing 36 to 52 deals. And then we have our mega agents, which now are really more than 100, but 52 or more. If you're closing 1 transaction a week, that's what I focus on. My dream, when I was started in real estate at 19, I was broke. And I said, how am I going to do this? And I set a goal, very simple goal. I want to get paid once a week. I don't care how small the transaction is, but I'm doing 52 closings a year, and I'm going to get paid one a week. And so the people that enroll in the Source of Sales program, the people that have me in to do our day and a half, 10-hour total immersion project, they leave there saying, I'm going to close 1 deal a week. I'm so honored that, this thing has been it's a 10-hour course. It's all on CD, which nobody uses anymore. But I've had companies, independents that just said, look, we're just going to take SOS. We're going to do the workbook. We're going to listen to it every day. I've had companies do my SOS course over the period of years for sales meetings. And, the bottom line is that the goal is 52. So how do you get inside the heads of a real estate agent? So I talked about the tiers. If you want to go after the big boys, right, it's all about significance for them. If you're a mortgage originator and you want to get in the head of a big producer, trust me, it's about ego. It's about exposure. It's about them being significant. If you want to go after that tier 3, just below them, it's really about love and connection. It's about growing your business. It's about what are the strategies I can help these tier 3 agents take them from 40 deals to 80 deals. Level 2, level 2 is about, growth and contribution. They want to feel like they're able to grow into the next levels. They want to feel like they're real team players. They're not super ego-minded top producers yet. And they want to be a part of a contribution and growth scheme. And certainly, your new agents inside of their head and their heart is we need to provide this thing called certainty. And so I have strategies for all 4 levels of agents. And I help loan originators identify and learn the approaches to get into a real estate agent's head, and then how to bond them emotionally, that attitude link, so that they become irresistible. Those loan originators become irresistible to those realtors, and they create relationships that help them profit off the agent's production. So that's how you get into it. It's understanding the emotional needs of an agent, and that's what I've identified as the emotional needs of 4 different levels of agents.
Okay, so source of sales is that really geared solely toward loan originators, or is it something that would appeal to a larger audience?
Right. So what I just described to you is my course called Purchase Mentality, right? So mortgage companies are always bitching and complaining because, hey, look at the easy money's in the refi business, right? And they're going, how do I get inside the heart? How do we create realtor relationships that pay us when we're in an increasing interest rate environment? So that's what Purchase Mentality is. Source of Sales is a 5 mastery program: personal mastery, prospecting mastery, buyer mastery, seller mastery, and value mastery. We teach those 5 mastery programs, about an hour and 45 minutes each. And that is geared towards real estate agents. It's geared towards agents. It's geared towards team owners. It's a great thing that you can do. It's 52 weeks of training for a team owner that go through in detail self-mastery, like, how do you start your day? What, in fact, is your source of sales? Understanding source of sales is not social media. Source of sales is not Zillow leads. Source of sales is not KV Core leads. Source of sales starts with you. So our first pillar there is personal mastery. It's a personal development program that I walk people through. We show people how to create rapport within minutes. We talk to people about living in your vision, not in your circumstance, because we know real estate agents that live in their circumstances quit, because any sane, right-minded people that get into this business living in your circumstance would be a problem. And then obviously I do some attitude training with them. And then we talk about the reconditioning process, because in order to be a success in real estate, many of us just don't show up, and many of us are not born to be a successful real estate agent, right? There's a reconditioning that really needs to happen. So that's the personal mastery piece of it. And then my favorite thing to teach that I love is the prospecting mastery. And we help, do we do scripts and dialogue? Sure. But what we really talk to people about is why you love to prospect. And so there becomes a reconditioning and a mental washing and the mental source of why I love to prospect and why you don't prospect. And we get into understanding the 5 reasons that you need to prospect. Number 1 is it's your freaking job. If you're not closing 52 deals a year and people ask you what you do, you should probably say, I hunt for business, because you are a prospector. You're not even a real estate broker professionally until you close one transaction a month. And then we have something called the CACC formula, which is contacts, appointments, contracts, and closings, which we mathematically, for the biggest moron real estate agent in the country, if they just use my CACC formula, they're going to make $125,000 a year, bar none, no matter what. And then we do the for sale by owners and the expireds and the prospecting and leveraging social media. But the prospecting mastery part of source of sales is really about the mentality that you wake up and you go, man, I love to prospect. Because when I was 19, when I was broke, let me tell you something. I love to prospect. I love to meet new people. I work third shift in a bindery. And I said, I get to dress in a suit. I get to meet people. I get to be nice. I get to liquidate their homes. I get to, are you kidding me? This is the greatest thing in the world. Why aren't we talking to more people? And then as I train in the EXP Icon class as our buyer mastery practice, and we show people how to sell homes in 10 showings or less. We show people how to own your buyers instead of your buyers owning you. And we really help people understand the secret to market dominance, which is very simply this. It's from the time I shake your hand to the time I get to the closing table is a faster time than any other real estate agent in the market. You cannot be a dominant agent spending an average of 17 hours with each and every client. The average time it takes me to complete a sale face-to-face with my clients in my life now is less than 57 minutes. I spend 57 minutes or less face-to-face with the people that buy and sell real estate with me who pay me unbelievable commissions. Some of our agents are spending 6 months. They spend holidays. So we help people understand how to accelerate the process of decision-making. And then obviously, as you guys know, as legends in the business, if you ain't listing, you ain't lasting. And so I teach agents how to absolutely own their seller, how to walk into a listing, price it right at the highest amount of commission, and make you an irresistible listing agent. And that gets into the perceptions of a realtor, understanding what sellers really think of us, understanding how to do this fifth pillar, which is called value mastery, right? Most agents have no idea how to even define value. And we know that value is defined as what you do for the customer on behalf of the customer before you even ask for business. And so becoming a valued member of the real estate community that you work in, to truly be valued by buyers and sellers. I always love to ask, how many people are calling you to list and sell? And the answer is not enough. And so the way you do that is you put value out into the world, out into your marketplace. And we do that through becoming a quote unquote local celebrity. So I have a little celebrity piece in the value piece. And by the time I'm done with you after a day and a half, you are fired up, you are focused, you know who you are, you know what your source is, you know that it's up to me to become the most successful agent I can be. It's not up to my manager. It's not up to a guru. It's not up to Zillow. It's not up to a social media director in the mind that is our source for success. And, I was broke and bought my company at 23, grew it to three different offices with 150 agents. And all this training was created every single Tuesday at my sales meeting. And I built my company based on my sales meetings. I had agents from other companies go, I want to watch Glenn Bill train. This is awesome. This stuff is great. And I got to always give credit to the Floyd Wickmans, the Tom Hopkins, the Tony Robbins, the Mike Ferry Sr., all those guys who, I've listened to every guru on real estate, and I took the best, I left the rest, I merged it into what we do. We've brought it into the 21st century. And, this is what we do. This is what I'm passionate about. And, there's just nothing better than getting 100 to 200 agents in a room and doing source of sales with them. And I get mortgage companies that actually pay me to do source of sales. I put 200 agents in the room. We strategically target those agents and create the mortgage real estate relationships in order to accentuate and have everybody win. So as you can tell, I'm a little excited about what I do, and I love what I do. So
No, and I listen. I share your passion. You know, we were very fortunate last week. Was it last week? Jana was on the show. Jana 2 weeks ago. Jana Caudell, and she just bought Star Power, Howard Britton's former wonderfully successful program. You were mentioning some of the oldies, but the goodies.
Yes.
And I thought I'd throw Howard in there too. But
For sure.
at EXP we've got some of the most passionate people who just want to help change lives. It's really incredible, and you're obviously leading that charge yourself, Bill. Glenn, sorry, Glenn, Bill. Did that ever happen to you before? Anybody else call you Bill instead of Glenn?
Yeah, about every day.
I was looking above your head there, and it said Bill, and I don't know why. There you
Right.
go. Now
There
it
we
says
go.
Glenn.
Yep.
So
Yeah, there's the Glenn Bill logo.
You've coached thousands and probably thousands and thousands of agents.
Yes.
And you've seen the ones that have turned out and just had ultimate success, and then you've seen the 80 to 90% that just don't go anywhere.
Yes.
Is there anything that if you were to look at a person who's about to start that journey, is there anything that you have, any senses or discernment that you've picked up over the years that will allow you to determine if that agent, that person, that candidate will be a rising star or a thud?
Yes. So I know you know it as well as me. I've been there. This guy's gonna rock and roll. He's gonna be the best. Crapper, no good. This person couldn't sell their way out of a bag. $10 million producer, right?
Right.
The one thing I see is, I look for this, is their source, is their energy flow, is their drive, and is their need to succeed. And so I think people who are broke, who are on their last edge, who have given up hope, who have come from an abusive, hostile work environment, who got something to prove, that's what I look for. The person that's getting out of college that has no debt and rich parents probably isn't going to do it. Look, it takes guts, it takes grit, it takes drive, and it takes passion to make it in this business. And it's getting harder and harder as our commissions are eroding, as third-party experts are getting in between the consumer and the agent, to become more profitable and to become more productive. And what I focus on with agents is becoming more profitable and productive. And there's nothing more profitable in this business than to be able to cultivate and generate your own business with nobody's help. And that's what I focus on. Can I teach you social media? Sure, I do social media. But it's to me, it's all about the chip on the shoulder. It's all about desperation, in my opinion. It's all about like that drive, and you can just see it in their eyes. But if you're comfortable and you're getting into real estate, you're probably not going to be very good. So I look for people that are very uncomfortable with their lives. They're fed up. They've had it. Those are the people that I want.
There's an old saying, you can't teach hunger. Or you can't teach
right.
hungry, I should say, right?
Yeah.
We always look for hungry, humble, and smart for our team members. And
I love it.
You got to have that. You got to show up. So are there any other prerequisites? Can anything else that somebody, if they were to sign up for your program today, any prerequisites that they need to knock out before they just jump in head first?
Well, I mean, if you're going to come in with me, you're just going to have some thick skin, and you're going to need to know that sometimes love is hard, because we love hard. And I don't mean like love hard like we squeeze you hard and love you really hard. I mean, like, we're going to be real honest about why you're failing. And so that's, I just always tell people, look, come in with a thick skin. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to make you get to 52 closing tables a year. And if your life's going to be better because you're getting 52 checks, then you know what? I'm going to be your guy. And you're going to need to be tough on yourself. And I'm going to be tough on you. but I'm going to do it with love, because I know what I do and what I teach works. Because you know what? I got SOSers, as we call them, all over the country that go, man, I got Glenn Bill's course and here we go. I mean, the great thing about, the course and the CDs is I can't even tell you how many times people will call me and go, hey, I listened to the listing CD right before I went in. And, I have the 21 ways to overcome the commission objection, right? So like, I can't, if you go to my YouTube channel, you're going to see people go, Glenn saved me $50,000 on negotiating commissions, right? So I do have real hands-on. I do have real language stuff that if you put me in your car and you're going out to work a buyer or work a seller and you're listening, you are going to be more brief, which every agent needs to be. Brevity is key. And you're going to be more influential, you're going to be more convincing, and you're going to be a better salesman. And you know what? I ain't afraid to be a salesman. So, that's what we do. And it's such a, and I know, Cliff, with many people as you've coached, you get those calls too. And they go, oh my God, it works, which is what Tom Hopkins always says. I just love it when people call and go, man, this stuff works. And it does. And so the book, I've tried to write this book. I've had the audio series and the workbook, and I've never written the book. I've hired 3 different people to help me get across the finish line, but I finally found the right partner. So this book is coming out. It'll be an online course as well. And then we'll be doing group coaching. I do have Source of Sales, and I believe you guys are members of this on a Facebook group. And so actually, I just posted that. We may have people watching on Source of Sales right now, for all I know. I posted the link in that. So, we're just out making that happen, and we'll see what comes of it. People go, gosh, Glenn, and Cliff, I'd love to get your guys' opinion. The more things change, the more they stay the same. I see all kinds of people out there teaching why you need to be on social media, why you got to keep posting. And I'm like, you know what? That's not going to sell you homes. I mean, it's going to get you exposure. But if you can't get belly to belly and have somebody put ink on paper to get you paid, I don't care what you're posting, right? You're gonna show up and they're gonna go, you're an idiot. Hey, your posts are great, but I don't think I trust you to sell my home, right? Well, so I'm a fundamental sales coach.
You bring up a great point. We always talk about learning the blocking and tackling before you can get creative. And, Coach Wooten, start the practice every year with how to lace up your shoe. And he's coaching championship basketball teams. It really is all about the detail and the basics. And if you haven't mastered that, I like that you have chosen to name, your segments of your teaching mastery, because the difference between, familiarity and a working knowledge and mastery is enormous. And it's probably 6 figures in a real estate agent's income. And if you can master something as opposed to just sort of speak it, conversationally, then that's where you really hit that quantum level where, you're that people look at him and go, how did he do that? I mean, he just closed a $1.3 million listing appointment. How did he do that? Right. So, that's the thing, is to get these agents to learn, and it is, you talk about self-leadership. Talk a minute, if you would. I know you work with people a great deal when it comes to self-development. And,
yes.
And as a football coach and as a real estate coach, where do most people fall down? Is it not investing enough in personal development? What do you think? Where do people just not pick it up? I mean, we left Tony Robbins, and I know that changed lives. Are people really developing themselves enough? Where do they need to spend more time, Glenn?
So, and there's one reason that you develop yourself. The most important reason you develop yourself is because you can help develop others. And what I found is this: no matter how great I am and how great I can coach myself to be, no matter how much personal development I get, if it's all about me, I can only get to this level. And I just interviewed a guy by the name of Rob Jones, who's a paraplegic Olympian. Just interviewed him this morning, lost both of his legs in Afghanistan. And he said, here's what the military taught me: country first. my fellow brothers and sisters second, the Marines third, me fourth. And he said, when you're just about you, you can only get to this level. But when you think about the Marines, you get higher. When you think about country, you get higher. And when you think of, so the reason for personal development is to put others up. Where do people fall? People keep focusing on themselves. And personal development, you're not becoming a personal development master for you. You're really becoming a personal development master for others. And so when you can get out of your own head, when your source of sales and your source of personal development truly becomes, which is obviously, Cliff, you got thousands of people in your organization, you've mastered this. That's when personal development takes you to the top of the mountain. It's not about you, right? I was a football coach. You know how many times we said this? You cease to exist as an individual. And let me tell you something. I've been fortunate enough to be a part of 15 state championship football teams, record in the state of Indiana. And our motto was, you cease to exist as an individual. It is not about you. And when that mindset gets crushed, and just think about how great our country could become. Think about the healing that can exist when you put yourself on the fourth rung instead of the first rung. And all of a sudden, everybody to your left and your right is looking out for you. Instead of one person looking out for you, now you got two people all the time. And so that's the real lesson in quote unquote personal development. But the goal of personal development is you're developing yourself for others, not for yourself. And that's the missing link and what most people do not get.
Yeah, wasn't it Ronald Reagan who said, it's amazing what we can accomplish if nobody has to take credit for it. I think Amen. It was something like that. And so that all gets back to self-leadership and servant leadership more than self-leadership. Leaders Eat Last, and there's a great book. Simon Sinek wrote that, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and so forth. Talk a little bit about your podcast. You've got a great podcast. You're just talking about the young man that you interviewed that was in the Olympics and so forth. What does that mean to you, and how is that your sort of outreach now to be able to reach more people, and how's it working out for you?
Yeah, well, thank you for asking. It's the Get Attitude podcast. We're everywhere, so you can check it out. And our goal on the Get Attitude podcast is very simple. We want to help people bridge the gap. That's what it's called, the gap. Bridge the gap from who they are to who they want to become. And we want to help people bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to go. And we do this by getting some of the biggest names in America to come on our program and share with us and give us answers on what they did to bridge the gap in their own lives, what they did from when they were a nobody to becoming a somebody, what they did for today, Rob Jones, for how he bridged the gap from where he was laying on a battlefield with no legs to becoming a bronze medal Paralympic athlete to running 31 marathons. Legs. And so there's probably some mind hacks and there's probably some attitude lessons to get. And so, as I said from the beginning, we know that the common theme of all great companies, which I believe we're a part of, and the common theme of all great teams and great leaders and great husbands and wives and relationships gets down to this thing called attitude. And so what my podcast does, professional athletes, war heroes, authors, speakers, and we talk about how they bridged the gap in their life, what they did. We give you real answers that if you're somebody that's saying to yourself, there's more to life than what I'm giving, there's more to life than what I'm getting, there's more to life than what I'm producing, the Get Attitude podcast is the place you want to come, because it's going to be a place that will develop your attitude. It's going to be a place that gives you real answers from real people with real solutions, real strategies, real techniques on how I can raise my game. And I'm so honored that I get to speak to people who give me those answers each and every week on our podcast, because obviously that only helps me do better things and manage all that crazy stuff that me and you just talked about at the beginning of the show.
Right. Now, how long have you had the podcast up and running?
So we completed season 1. And the season 1 in our book, The ABCs of Attitude, I go through the 10 attitude boosters. And so what we did is we did 10 attitude boosters, 4 shows per booster. Be nice, grow or die, be a part of something bigger than yourself, eat right and exercise, just to name a few. And so we did season 1, and now we're into season 2. So we're about to hit our 100th podcast. And the season 2 is innovators and influencers. And we've been so fortunate this season to have Glenn Sanford come be our guest, Don Hobbs from EXP, Fee Gentry was just amazing. We were also honored that we were recognized by the Audiovisual Institute Academy of America. And we received what is called a Communicator Award for Diversity and Inclusion. When George Floyd was murdered, I felt like I had to do something, and I created what was called the 846 Interview Stories of Black America. And we interviewed 4 Black men and 4 Black women about their stories of racism when they first felt racism, when they were first called the N-word. Real hard-hitting podcast. And interestingly enough, it was picked up and it was recognized as the most distinguished podcast for diversity and inclusion in America last year. And, that came at peril. I had cops that weren't real happy with me, and I'm a big supporter of the police. But I felt like we needed to hear the stories of victims of racism firsthand. And I wanted it to be brutal and hard, and it kind of was. And look, I know that there's a lot of people that are getting attacked right now. And there's a case to be made that white America is getting attacked right now at a level more than ever. So we're probably going to revisit that. We're probably going to be doing the 846 interviews with real life police officers. We're going to probably be tackling interracial marriage. So I'm not afraid to stick the stick in the cage. Fee Gentry's just been such a big supporter of what we've done, and she was amazing on our podcast. And then, Debbie Byrie was awesome. Debbie runs the women's initiative for EXP. It's the 5,000 women, I think. Her freaking podcast was off the chain. She was just to listen to her story and where she came from. All 4 of our EXP people that were on there are certainly worth a listen. And I think there's some, Glenn Sanford was amazing. I'm pretty sure that you'll never hear an interview of Glenn like you've heard on my show. I mean, we went back to Glenn's grandfather. We went back to the lessons Glenn learned from his father and grandfather. And those stories are unique and they're educational. And like I said, that's what we're doing. So the podcast is kind of grown legs of its own. It's as you guys know, it's a commitment. And I'm always looking for people to help me because I've kind of bootstrapped this on my own and I've gotten the guests on my own. But as I get busier, I tell you, it becomes tough to book, the big names for sure.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like you got the makings for a good book yourself, just with the podcast guest. If you could give them each a chapter and put the podcast in a transcription in a book, you might have a nice read there.
Yeah, we're actually we've transcribed all of those, and you're going to be seeing Get Attitude podcast blog posts. I've just hired Podetize. I'm working with Podetize, and I was asked to join the C-Suite Network, radio and TV network. So we're actually on the C-Suite television network, wherever you want to find them. So, yeah, we've had designs of starting the Attitude Network, actually creating a network based on attitude and the stories of attitude. That's a pretty big endeavor. And so, who knows where the hell this thing's going to go, but we're going to have fun. I am a man of faith. I go where God leads me. I'm not necessarily very strategic. I trust the hand of the Lord to push me in the direction or to pull me in the direction that he needs me to be pulled in. maybe not the most strategic way to do things, but so far it's working out for me.
Well, I'd say so. Yeah, definitely. No question about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Glenn, it's talking about all the things that you have to, you were talking about ADD. You have, the podcast. You have your university. You have the book. You have the program. The keynote speaker stuff. You have a lot to manage, right? And I just wanted to kind of touch on your support system at home, and kind of like feel that out. I saw that you were married to your childhood sweetheart, and
sure.
You got 4 sons, right?
3 sons and a daughter.
3 sons and a daughter. Very nice.
Yeah.
And
I know Chris Bear always speaks highly of one of them.
Right. Yeah, he was mentioning some stories about him and Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony and him are buddies, boy.
Yeah.
I think, he likes Anthony more than me. Thanks for asking. Very fortunate when you think about being owning a real estate company, which was back in the day, and being a defensive line coach at our high school. And, I did 25 years of high school coaching. And let me tell you something, it wasn't a part-time job. We were spending 20 to 30 hours in season a week, breaking down film and doing the things. And that's the fundamentals that Cliff talked about for victory in football. So my grade school sweetheart, we met, was she supportive? Yeah, kind of, but not really. It wasn't easy for her with 4 young kids when I'm off coaching football, but my sons were in the locker room every game night. They were always our ball boys, and I spent my Friday nights with them. That's just how we chose to do it. So, it felt right. The family support was there. I love telling the story. They go, how did you guys win all those state titles? Well, I knew this. If we didn't win a state title, my coaching days were over. Because she said, you are not going to do this and lose. So I said, I get it. So when I went to practice, I was dead serious because I knew that if we weren't state champions, my coaching career was in peril. Because she's like, I'm not going to do all this BS if you're just going to go out and go 500. That's not the way this works. We need to go undefeated. We need to win championships, and we need to do something. So whether she knew she motivated me or not, she did. And I've always had an uncanny ability, and this is great for team leaders, especially. I've had a state career, and my assistant has 2 jobs. And so for all you team leaders out there, I have a whole coaching system on running a team. But my assistant has 2 jobs. Number 1 job is to make me look great, not good, great. And so as a representative for me, her goal is to give that wow experience and to make me look great. The second thing that I had my assistant do was to schedule my time. I still have trouble with this. I got 5 different emails trying to pour into one schedule, and I still haven't figured it out. Maybe you guys can help me. But those were her only 2 jobs: make me look great and get me in front of people with an ink pen and a listing or a purchase agreement every day so I can make money. Because real estate's not hard, guys. Purchase agreement, listing agreement, get them signed. That's it. Everything else is completely preparation and BS. And I knew that at an early age. I knew I had to be in front of somebody who can sign a contract. And so our goal in our source of sales program is you have to get a signature every day, whether it's on a price reduction, a listing, a purchase agreement, a mutual release, an inspection response, a earnest money deposit. If you're not getting ink every day, you're not doing your job. And so that's the expectation. And so I said, I'm going to hire that, because, we all do this, Cliff, and with all your agents, this. Well, yeah, I could show you a home at 4, but I got some BS excuse that I can't show you at 4, and then the appointment doesn't happen. So the one way around that is I say, you schedule me for 6 in the morning, you schedule me at 9 at night. I'm not going to shy away. Fill my calendar. And so, you know what? That has been the job description for my 2 assistants, both who've stayed with me more than 13 years, both who get paid very well. And if they don't know what to do, they go to rule number 1, make me look great. Pretty simple.
I love it. I feel I feel like I'm missing something here.
Yes.
I need to sign up for some Dr.
Source.
Bill here and get some.
Well,
get
yeah,
a check
let's
up
get
for the neck
let's
up.
get a mortgage company to bring me down to Dallas, and we'll blow that room up. We'll get you a bunch of recruits. We'll do source of sales, and we'll get you guys having some fun and thinking things differently. That's what I do. So.
Well, I'd love to talk with you about that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. That'd be great.
I hate to say this, Glenn. I knew this was going to happen. It does every time, but I'm looking at the clock, and we're approaching our hard stop here. It's been just a real jolt of energy and fun to have you on the show today, and was great to see you in Dallas and get to hang with you for a little bit. And obviously, I hope we get to spend some time in Vegas coming up. There'll be plenty of other times, but I'm so grateful to have you on the show and thankful. You really are a pillar in the industry and in your community and father, husband. You really are. I don't know, like the poster child. I think of Glenn and I see his smiling face up there, and it's like, God, why can't more people just kind of get that, and do that? And not only that, you're also teaching the things that people need to do to get better. And to me, that's the way, we light candles and we help other people, and that's really where success is found. And Tony Robbins said it best when he says, if you can help somebody without the expectation of getting anything in return, that's really the pinnacle of life, and that's where you need to live it. So you're that man. You not only talk it, teach it, but you live it. And we're just so excited that you could be on the show today. If somebody wanted to reach out to you, Glenn, maybe get a little personal time in your ear, what would be the best way to contact you?
They can just go to glennbill.com and find me, and they can Google me. I'm all over Google. My LinkedIn, if you guys like what you're hearing, my LinkedIn has been going crazy. I had 200,000 views the other day on one of my posts. So we're posting every day on LinkedIn, positive messaging, strategies to stay positive. So I'd love you to follow me there. And guys, it's been an honor. Cliff, I love that you and your son are together doing something. I think there's a lot of fathers that can't pull that off, quite honestly. And there's a lot of sons that can't pull it off. So to witness you two together doing what you do is an inspiration to me. And to see the organization that you've built is inspiring. It gives me hope. I'm not sure that's where God's going to take me. I don't know. But if I can be a servant to your organization in any way, I promise you that you will get 10 times the investment you put in me. And I'll blow Dallas up for you if you ever want me to come down there and gig them, go A&M this weekend, and go Rice, whoever they're playing.
Cowboys, let's go.
Oh, and hey, we got a big game tonight. My boy Zach Martin, I don't know. I heard from a ferry that he may end up playing. They said he wasn't, but he may actually end up playing. So we'll see.
Jerry Jones left that open. He did. And even the head football coach said he's as out as you can get. But there's a vibe going on around town here that you might see him. Yeah,
Ivermectin.
Ivermectin
or what?
Yeah, ivermectin.
Yes,
Is that what it is? Yeah,
yeah.
something like that. Anyway,
horse stuff, yeah.
He's probably
juiced up on that.
Could be.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he's your personal buddy. Didn't you coach him for a while? How did that relationship?
I coached Zach. Unbelievable football player, and literally used to pick guys up and throw them physically off the field in a nice way, not in an unsportsmanlike way, but he was just that good. He's a better person than he is a football player, and he's a dear friend. But he is the only player I saw that got called for unnecessary roughness because he picked a guy up and literally threw him out of the back of the end zone once. He was just doing his job, right?
Oh, my God.
We said, this guy's pretty good. So, he started as a freshman. I got to coach him for 4 years and just phenomenal athlete.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Well, man, I
We're
can't
gonna
wait.
try. Go ahead.
What's that? I was just going to say.
I want to make an introduction. I'm going to get you guys with him. That's for sure.
Well, we'd love to meet him, and all I was going to say was I'm really looking forward to the next time you and I can belly up and have a Diet Coke or an adult beverage again, and you've got some amazing stories to share, and it's always a great thing I look forward to be able to kind of talk with you off the clock and spend some time with you. So we always look forward to that, Glenn.
Good. Hey, it's an honor. You know what I'm getting ready to do?
What's that?
I'm getting ready to get a listing signed.
Oh,
Let's go.
I got one yesterday, but I'm supposed to do it every day, right?
Right, every day.
You know,
Yeah.
Ink and something.
I'm
every
trying
day.
not to do real estate anymore.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yay, this one's $199, but you know what? It's a referral from a longtime client. It's his sister. She has cerebral palsy. And I told my assistant, schedule an hour every time I meet with her so I can listen to her stories. Because you know what? Everybody has a story and everybody has something that they can teach us. And so I'm headed on my way to go learn from a beautiful gal named Jenny. She's going to have her cane. She's got her home stage. She's doing it all herself. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to make her day and I'm going to fill her up full of positive energy. And I hope everybody that's listening can find somebody to do that with today as well. Go Cowboys.
Amen. You go bless that lady, and you've been a blessing today, Glenn,
thank you.
and we look forward to the next time we can get you on the show.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Travis, for letting us run over time here a little bit. We appreciate you, man. Go Cowboys, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. No, 3 weeks. Well, we'll figure it out.
Well,
2 or 3 weeks.
We'll see.
I'll be in Florida and Knoxville, but we'll see you right back here on Cliff's Notes.
All right, folks, tune in to Cliff's Notes every Thursday at 1 o'clock Central for the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business. I guarantee it.